Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got in another light to take a look at. This one's coming from Hongleey. I just recently did a review of one of their traditional style lanterns, and they're calling this one a lantern as well, but it's a very flat style light. It's going to have multiple color temperatures, some blinky modes, some RGB, and a couple other little features. So stick around if you're interested in learning about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing, go over all the features and specifications, show you guys how to use the light, probably do some nighttime shots with it, and then give some thoughts on it. So the box here is very plain. We just have the Amazon sticker. The model of this one is the LY01. But let's get cut into it here, see how it's packaged and what we get. So it looks like we do have a Type A to Type C charging cable. They do include a little baggie. That's actually a nice touch. And then here is the lantern. So this guy is actually pretty tiny. I mean, basically the size of the palm of your hand, maybe. Let's take a quick peek just kind of around things. Looks like we're going to have a 1/4-20 thread there. So you could put that on a tripod if you want. So I suppose you could use this even for like some studio lighting, or if you're vlogging or something like that. Looks like we're gonna have a charging port, and then some of our buttons. These are, it looks like this is gonna be like brightness up and down, probably our mode button. We'll go over all that stuff in a bit. Looks like we're gonna have a handle that we can hang it. That there comes undone, so if you want to put it over like a clothesline or a tree branch that's further up or whatever. This is branded with their name on it there. There was also a manual in that box. Show it to you real quick, just in case there are things that I leave out during this video, or in case you pick one of these lights up and then end up losing your manual. You can always come back to this video for reference. Looks like their warranty is for 1 year. Grab you guys some quick dimensions and a weight. We're looking at 3.3 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, and 0.8 on the thickness. And it has a total weight of 4.1 ounces. So this is going to have an internal battery. They claim that it's 3,000 milliamp hours. On the lowest setting, you're supposed to be able to get about 100 hours of light. On the highest setting, about 5 hours. The manual says that it charges at 1.5 amps on the recharge. Amazon listing says it's at 1 amp. So either way, I still think it's probably going to take a few hours to charge it back up if it's all the way dead. So besides being able to use this handle to like hang it, you can also sit it down and you can angle it to whatever level you need to light at. And it also has a built-in magnet that seems pretty strong, holds itself in all the different positions. And that 1/4-20 thread is just as you would expect. You can pretty much mount it to anything that has that, small tripods or whatever. So this little light's going to have 8 different modes. When we first turn it on, it's going to be a 3200 Kelvin light. The next one would be a 4800 Kelvin, then a 6500. We're going to have like a red flashing mode, a blue flash mode, a white flash mode. And then there's going to be like a color breathing where it basically will rotate or cycle through all the different colors. And then we can lock in any of those colors that we want. So to turn it on, this mode button right here, we're going to long press it. And again, this should be, I'm not sure what that color tint is, to be honest with you. That looks brighter than, it might have mode memory. I'll have to check that out, but it does not look like the 3200. That looks more white, but let's cycle through and see what the next ones are. Yeah, that looks more yellow than what the previous one did, and that's even more yellow. So I would say that this one here is the 3200 tent. So they might have the order listed wrong. So we got the flashing red. The next should be the blue. And then white. And then this is going to be the breathing. Camera has a hard time picking up. This is yellow right now. Then it's switching to like a green. I'll show you guys this better at night. That's a blue. What's it switching to next? Kind of like a purple. Might be better if I just show it on my hand here. Then it's going into a red, a yellow again. So it will just continue to do this where it just cycles through all of these. But if I want blue, I just tap the mode button and then it just stays on that one. And then if I want, I can go back through and start back over again. But that one there seems like that's like the 6500 tent, because it's a really white, bright light. Now, I don't know the exact output of this, but if you want it to be brighter, you just hit this plus sign here. And it looks like it gives you a few more levels, and then let's dim it down really low. So that's about as low as it'll get. Again, it does get reasonably bright, and you can do that with all of these levels. So if we switch to the next one here, again, that looks like the 4800 combo. So I think that in the manual, I think they have the numbers listed, because it shows that 3200 is first, 4800 second, 6500 is third, and I think it's the opposite. I think 6500 is first, then 48, then 3200. But same thing here on this 4800. Again, we can dim this down, get it pretty bright, and then this 3200, same thing. If you want to dim it down, just hit that. If you want to turn it back off, you just long press that center button again, the mode button, it shuts it off. Let's check the blinking modes and see if we can change the output of those. It changes the speed of it. So you can have it blink really slow, but it doesn't look like it changes the brightness. But if I can change that, and now it starts blinking more rapid and then really rapidly. The camera doesn't pick this up, but it's almost like a strobe right now. Camera might pick up this white flash better. If you are sensitive to strobe, you might want to look away because it will get faster here. But yeah, hopefully you can see that now. Let's check to see if this thing has mode memory. So we're obviously in the flash right now on the white. Let's shut it off. Wait a few seconds. Turn it back on, and yeah, apparently it does. Let's try this one, shut it off. Yeah, so it does have mode memory and the same brightness. So if we shut it off in a really dim state, it should come back on in that exact same level. Yep, it did. A couple other things to mention about this. It does have an IP65 waterproof rating. So I don't think that's submersible, but it can definitely take some light rain and stuff. And the other thing is it does have like a power indicator. There's 4 lights here that are kind of separated. And when you turn the lantern on, they'll stay on for just a few seconds. I'm not sure if that's like a battery status indicator or if it's just showing you that you're turning the thing on, because they come on when you shut it back off too. But being 4 of them, I almost believe that it is a battery status. So if all 4 are on, you're probably somewhere between like 75% and 100%, and then they go down in 25% increments. Let's check out charging, and we'll see if any of those lights flash or anything when it's charging up. So let's see what this USB-C port looks like. That's not the heaviest or thickest port cover there, but let's see. So yeah, those lights are illuminated. What I'll probably do is just let this thing, I'll disconnect it here and let this run for maybe a half hour or something, and maybe try to drain it a little bit so I can see if these do flash or anything. But while it's charging, let's see if we can use the light. Yep, and it looks like all of them work. So you can charge it and use it at the same time. Alright, we'll try to run through some of the modes here of this LY01. I think this is going to be the cool white first. And let's see if that's as high as it goes. Yeah, that's the highest setting. So you can see that easily lights up a decent sized room. And then we'll go down to the lowest setting. Camera doesn't pick it up as much as what I can see with my regular eyes. It still easily lights up a room. This here is kind of like the combination, and I believe that's as high. Yeah, let's go down through it. Same thing. That is the warm color, and then that's the flashing red. Flashing blue, obviously. Flashing white. I'll increase the speed of this flash, take it up kind of like the strobe. Go through the RGB here next. And there it is on that little small tripod. It actually puts off a really decent amount of light considering the size of it. So what are my thoughts on this LY01 lantern? Overall, I actually really like it and would definitely recommend it. It's super compact and lightweight. You could easily put this in like a pants pocket, or a purse, obviously a backpack or anything like that. So if you're somebody that does like social media stuff, TikTok videos or whatever, you need some area lighting, this would be perfect for that. It actually has pretty decent output considering the size of it. Easily fills up an entire room. I like that it has the multiple color temperatures so you can get the right lighting for your situation. The breathing light, it actually has 8 different colors, and again, you can stop on any of those colors. The camera has a hard time picking up the RGB stuff. The red on that is obviously pretty useful for at night. The other 7 colors are kind of just for fun, really. It's still pretty neat having it on there. That battery status indicator that I talked about earlier, I let this run down to where it's almost empty. And when I plugged it in, it was only 1 light showing, and then as it charged, 2 lights would show, and then 3, and then 4, and then eventually they all just shut off whenever it was fully charged. So I like that it has that battery status indicator. I like that it's really simple to use, just 1 button to turn it on, and I like that it has mode memory. Let's say that I wanted the yellowest version, which is what, like 3200 Kelvin or whatever. I like that if I shut it off and I turn it back on, I'm going to be back there. A lot of these types of lanterns and stuff, you have to cycle through the entire thing every time, so it would come back on the first one, second one, then I would finally get here on the third. So I do like that it has mode memory. I like that there are multiple ways to use it. I mean, you can just simply set it down and then have the light, shine up and bounce off the ceiling. You could use the stand here. And again, it's pretty solid, pretty stable on that stand. Like, it stays wherever you position it. You can use that hook like I showed before and hang it up on something. It does have the magnet back here, and then also that tripod mount. So there's 4 or 5 different ways to set this up. A few things I'd like to see maybe improved upon. First would be the waterproof rating at IP65. Definitely like to see that better. And kind of related to that, that USB-C port cover here is super thin and flimsy. Another thing to mention is, even though it does have this magnet on the back, and I demonstrated it on that piece of steel, I found it like on different surfaces, when I go like this with the magnet, it will like tilt sometimes, like it slides down, whatever it is. But if I put it like this, it stays put every single time. So I think that the magnets could maybe be a little bit stronger. And the final thing I'll mention is I don't see any way of servicing the battery. There are these 4 little holes here, but they have like covers in them. This is definitely not meant to be serviced. And saying that, they only have the 1-year warranty. So I would like to see that warranty maybe go out to 2 or 3 years. Again, because the battery is probably going to be the thing that fails at some point, and there's no way to replace it. But again, at the end of the day, I really do like this thing. I think it's great for camping, just using it around the camp, or putting it in the tent, using it as a reading light or something like that, night light. Great for fishing. You could easily throw this in a tackle box. Use it around there for car repair. Keep this in a glove compartment or center console or something. You could put this on the side of your car if you had like a breakdown, like use like the flashing on it or whatever. Again, like I said earlier, like if you're doing like video streaming for social media, YouTube, whatever it might be, this is really great for that. And I also think these would be good just to have for like power outages and stuff, because again, it's a fill light, so it completely fills up the space in the room. So these would be great, walk around the house, put it on a tripod and walk around your house like an old school lantern. So like I said, these are available on Amazon. They're coming in around $20, and there's a clickable coupon for 10% off, so what, $18? Definitely worth that price. They also have these in red, where instead of the black frame, it's red, and then white as well. And I'll leave a link for them down in the video description in case you want to find out more information on them or pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.